latest on Typhoon Mangkhut, which continues to strengthen on approach to the Mariana Islands. It's now bearing down on Saipan and Tinian as a Category 1 with 90-mile-an-hour winds, and according to the JMA, 955 millibars at 6 AM Chamorro Standard Time on September the 10th. The storm is headed for the islands very quickly now, is a stage 3 on the CDPS still. It's at 15.2 north, 149 degrees east, a category 1 on the Saffir-Simpson scale. 212 miles from Saipan, it's made up 100 miles in the last 6 hours, so logic would suggest that it will arrive in about 12 hours, the eye at least, but of course conditions from the storm will reach the islands much sooner than that. And you can see just less than 1900 miles to Manila as well. So a typhoon warning remains in effect for all of the main islands of the Marianas: Guam, Rota, Tinian and Saipan. All of them could receive significant conditions, but it's now looking as though this storm is going to be a little bit further north than we thought, in which case it could be Saipan and Tinian that gets the worst conditions from this storm, but all of those islands, I must stress, will be significantly affected. Mangkhut is expected to intensify after it passes the island as it enters the Philippine Sea on a gradual curve towards the west-northwest, and models are starting to trend even closer towards the Philippines now, continuing to trend south, and the Joint Typhoon Warning Centre's forecast map has it pretty close to a Philippine landfall too, so that's something we'll be watching very closely. But there's the latest GFS run, takes the storm through the Luzon Strait by the looks of things, and then towards China. Sea surface temperatures right now though are very warm, 29 degrees pretty much all the way up until the first landmass that this storm meets. And here's another look through the wind field. Monday night is when the storm's going to move over the islands, that's local time, into Tuesday morning. Hurricane force winds, typhoon force winds expected on some of those islands. Rota and Tinian in particular will be of most concern, but Saipan and Guam could also get typhoon force gusts. And this is later on in the week, into Friday, into Saturday now, towards the end of the week, the storm moving towards the Philippine Islands, just north, the Batanes Islands possibly, and then towards Taiwan. That's just one model solution. These are the chances of tropical storm force winds right now: 93% on Rota and Saipan, 85% on Guam, and 38% now on Santa Ana in the northeastern part of Luzon, and 33% on Basco on the Batanes Islands. These are what the models are saying. You can see that a lot of them are calling for significant strengthening, HWRF in particular being bullish, category 5 there, at least briefly, but gradual weakening possibly later on according to the statistical models, maybe. Wind shear is going to be on the increase, so the storm may be halted a little bit in its intensity, and sea surface temperatures of course are very warm. You can see those models there, the HWRF in particular, taking it over the Philippines now, so that's an interesting thing to watch there. It's still about 5 days away from reaching the Philippines. Right now though, it's only about 6 hours away from giving tropical storm conditions to the Mariana Islands, and this is how it looks on the satellite imagery. The storm still having a little bit of difficulty getting its eye together, but it is strengthening, it is getting more organised, and I think it may be somewhat lucky actually that the storm hasn't intensified more than it already has, but it's still going to be a significant problem for the Mariana Islands. Typhoon conditions are on the way, and your preparations should be complete. You can follow Force 13's outlets, the website force13.com with the latest. You can also find our YouTube page. You're probably there already, but if not, subscribe if you haven't so far. You can also find our Facebook page, Force 13 all in text, and it's at Force 13 on Twitter if you'd like to get in touch with us on there. You can also help the project become even better by enjoying the benefits of patronage. You can find out more information about how to become a patron and what those benefits are at patreon.com/Force13. You can also add my personal account on Discord, Fool13 at extension 9094, and Force13 on Skype. We also have a new server on Discord. You can find a link in the community tab.